the 1,001th cryptocurrency by market cap, that needs to be wiped out. That can't be in the system anymore. So basically, beautiful breakout here on Bitcoin. You can see this level here, which is 21.8, which was the level that it basically was hammering against, going all the way really back to when it broke down and made the lowest point back in June, right? So we got the close yesterday. We were getting continuation, which looks like it's confirming the move. And it looks to me like we'll head up to this 25.5 level. That's the pivot low from the Terra Luna collapse over here. To me, that's the big level next, at least the next target. I do think there's a chance we go through that, maybe all the way as high as about 28.5. But again, for me at least, I'm in the position of whether it's 25.5 or 28.5, I'm not thinking that we get through that high level. And I think there still is some more downside. Now, I am still currently long Bitcoin. I did take some profits today. FTT, I pulled my profits there. Avalanche, I took some profits there, but I still have some Ethereum long. I still have some Bitcoin long. I still have some Cardano, Polkadot, Chainlink. So I still have some exposure as we ride this wave. But again, it's not a long-term play for me. This is a shorter-term play up into these resistance levels. Once we get there, I'll be looking to take profits and basically rinse and repeat. And that's what I've done for so long. It's worked out very well. I think that, I definitely think there's always a chance that that's correct. I mean, we just never know for sure. My few things that bother me about the potential low being in is that we still haven't seen enough disruption in the overall crypto market. So, you go to coins, they've all been discounted, some of them 95%, some of them 90%. Even Ethereum is down significantly, although the bounce has been just absolutely awesome on Ethereum. But to me, I look at that sector and I'm like, how can this many coins still exist? And if this is the bottom and now we're headed up, how does that work? How do we have so many coins in the system at that point? So for me, that's one of the issues. And also looking back and comparing it to the .com era, you haven't seen that full capitulation. I mean, we did see fear when we were below the 2017 highs, but we didn't see that all out, like throw your hands up in the air, crypto's over kind of mentality, which is usually what notes the bottom. In fact, 2018, that was very similar to what we saw. We saw this kind of, oh my goodness, Bitcoin no more kind of thought. And then that was the bottom at 3,500. So that's an issue. And then my other issue would be is, even though I do think the Fed, like you said, is going to essentially stop hiking by later this year and probably even start easing in 2023, the question is, why are they doing that? And my guess is you're starting to see a real destructive event going on in the economy, right? And if you see the NASDAQ starting to really collapse down, and I don't think the NASDAQ's bottomed by any stretch, I think it's got to go down 40-50% at minimum, then what you're saying is that you'll see a pivot in Bitcoin where it starts to strengthen when the NASDAQ and the stocks actually go down, which I actually agree eventually that happens. Yeah. I just don't know if this is the time frame where that happens. So I think that, it's definitely a possibility. If there's one thing, just like Game of Thrones, if there's one thing I know nothing, kind of, know nothing, Jon Snow, right? You have to respect the charts, that they're the ones that are always right, and you just don't know. But for me, I'd be amazingly surprised if all of a sudden it's the new bull run and here we go to the upside. Now, I will show this. I do have a level that I'm watching. If we take out this level and confirm, then I would tend to agree with you on that, right? So if you connect the high from 69,000 here to this high, notice how this line is right around 30,000 right now. It will slope down right into this 28,000 area, probably in about a month or so, right? Now, if we somehow get above that, then that is a breakout on the charts. That would get my attention. And I think that would be the one case where I would say, okay, now I actually kind of do believe that the bottom is in, and now we could go back to 69, 70, 80, 100,000 on Bitcoin. But until then, we're still in a pretty steep downtrend. And really, if you look at this move, even if we go up to 25, 26, or even 28, that's all an inside bar bearish pattern from this move down, or better yet, even from this move down. And the last thing I'll just mention is that I still have a measured move where you take this high here to this low here, right? And then you had this consolidation pattern, right? So we have this kind of sideways channel. And then if you take that same distance from here and you extend it out, you actually get right around 12,000. So this line is the same as this line. And that gives me that kind of bottom area. So again, anything can happen. And that's the beauty of investing and why it's so freaking fun.
Of course.
But for me, I'll take that opposing bet. I still think we're going to 12, 13,000. Unfortunately, I even think there's a chance we could go lower, but let's take one step at a time. One of the reasons why I was starting to talk up a bounce. So everyone knows I called for 20,000. We were at 69,000. One of the reasons, I mean, there were chart signals, but there was also just so much crazy bullishness that it was almost the easy way to go, which was just say, okay, well, if everyone's bullish, then it's not going to go that way. And same thing when we were below the 2017 highs of 19.5 or so, everyone was just like doom and gloom. And it's like, okay, well, now we're due for a bounce. We're oversold.
Right.
They've run the stops, which were at 19.5, which was the 2017 high. It made sense that we would see a bounce there. So the question is, as we rally, like when we see 26, 28, like you're saying, which I think we do see, do we then see everyone start to say the bottom's in, which then the contrarian view would be back to the downside?
Yeah, of course. That's why
it's
we said we're
like
going to go back down, though. I said we're going to go back down and see have another chance back up. Now, as for the cryptocurrencies that you said they're going to vanish, I don't think they're going to vanish. I think there's going to be more of them. In 2017, not the 2000, that was the run, but in the crash, not everything vanished. They just never went up again.
Right.
LISC still exists. Right?
But I guess what I'm saying is right now, what do you have, about 20,000 cryptos? I mean, you can't tell me that. I mean, in reality, that's even more stocks than there are in the whole entire stock market.
Yeah, but they're not all cryptos. Most of them are we have to make a justification of which cryptos we count and which ones we don't. Because it's a whole different market. It's not the stock market. It's not regulated as much. Not anybody. I can make a cryptocurrency tomorrow. I can't get it on the stock market, but I can put it online. But I can put it on.
Right. But I think what I'm saying is that you still have people that are willing to take the risk by putting money in those. Yeah. And I think that money has to be wiped out, so I think that, you may, maybe the top 50 survive, maybe, who knows, and there will be new ones that have great use cases that come out, just like new companies come out all the time. But I want to see that period where anyone speculating on the 1,001th cryptocurrency by market cap, that needs to be wiped out. That can't be in the system anymore unless there's a real use case to it. And people will argue there is, right? Oh, this one is about cats, or this one's about dogs, or like, and for me, I'm just like, really, we're in the real world here where you actually need to have some sort of use case that's legitimate. Okay. So, I mean, for me, I need to be right more than that because I tend to lose more on my losers, So like I bat about 80%, so 8 out of 10. But you'll notice that on my 2 losers out of every 10, I probably lose like 1.5 versus, the one that I gain on a winner. So it knocks out about 3 total. And so I'm gaining about 7 out of every 10 with that.
So would you say you're a bit more conservative then?
Oh yeah. I mean, at this stage of my career, I've been smacked around and slapped around enough to not be too much of a cowboy anymore.